The very next part of the meditation started with the lyrics, been talking about the way things change, and my family lives in a different state. If you don't know what to make of this, then we will not relate. If you don't know what to make of this, then we will not relate. And this acknowledgement from spirit that there has been this schism that we've talked about, where people are living in different realities, different states of being, and even to the point where you can point to the sky and say, can you see what's happening here? And I have had people say, like, I don't even see what you're talking about. So the veils can be that heavy, where it's not even being seen by the physical eyes. And I think that's something for us to take into account, because it can be very frustrating when you are awake and aware to certain things, to be met with such, what's the word I'm looking for? Just, I guess, ignorance to what's even really right in front of our faces. And Spirit is saying that in large part that there is a veil that we need to step through in order to be able to even perceive that. So we are being encouraged right now to actually start our creative brainstorming, that there is unity in diversity, and that honoring differences is incredibly important. We need to have the freedom to explore ideas that seem the most far-fetched. And so we've been talking about some far-fetched things on the call, and Spirit's actually encouraging us that what seems crazy today might actually prove tomorrow to be brilliant, or to be some revelation of truth that we may not be able to wrap our minds around in this particular moment. We're being encouraged to stretch our imagination, to be open to new people, new ideas, and information that is novel and unfamiliar. It is time to actually tap into what is counterintuitive. And this doesn't mean from Spirit that we're not using our intuition and instinct. It means that sometimes the message comes in a way that is counterintuitive to the way the personality might perceive it. And that sometimes we have to appreciate that certain ideas that are out in left field may actually have something to bring to the table or have something to offer us. And the next theme was the angel of joyfulness showed up. Spirit never gives us this space of despair or discontentment without also acknowledging that there is an antidote or a remedy. And the lyrics here were, I've been going through a change, I might never be sure. I'm just walking in a haze, I'm not ready to turn. And Spirit acknowledging that humanity is going through this metamorphosis and that we're not really certain what's going on right now. And we do feel like we're walking in a haze, as we talked about. And this feeling that the collective is not quite yet ready to turn. And like Tom spoke to, it's really hard to believe that other humans might not have your best interest in mind, particularly, within religion or government. But from Spirit's perspective, a lot of the beings that were in power energetically are not what we would even consider human by our organic standpoint. And so it's tough for the human mind or the human heart to wrap around some of these atrocities. And we actually have to step back and acknowledge that some of this is not even coming from a human perspective. So all of this can be very disempowering, and Spirit wants us to know that actually something wondrous and magical is occurring right now. And we have the ability to be joyful and to celebrate and to appreciate all that we have achieved to date, even if our physical realities may not be presenting to us the ideal of what we wish to be experiencing in this life. That when we express gratitude for all of life, especially our setbacks, we're able to actually receive something wonderful in the process. In fact, Spirit says something emerges, something amazing, as a result of a recent contact or experience that we have. Now, because it's coming within this week, recent could be within the last few months, last few weeks, or it could mean that it's coming up within the next week or few weeks. So pay attention to something that Spirit is saying seems rather insignificant or meaningless at the time, but yet something wonderful emerges as a result of this contact. We are learning as a collective and individually that we deserve to have and be all that our heart desires, and that our lives are on the verge of wondrous transformation. And it goes back to that metamorphosis where we're not really the caterpillar, but we're not really yet the butterfly either. And that when we can understand that joyfulness is actually a state of appreciation, it's also a love for ourself and all of life. And we're conditioned that we can't accept joy into our lives. And yet, Spirit is saying no matter what circumstances we find ourselves in, we are always deserving of that joy.